This is Siobhan with SLK Services, and I wanted to update you guys. I think it's been about 15 days since I recorded a video, so I wanted to give you guys the latest update. So I was able to get my computer, so I finally got a computer that was able to pass a tech check. I actually ordered the computer from Walmart. I was going to order from Best Buy, but I decided to go ahead and order from Walmart. So I got that taken care of. And then I signed up for one of the banking clients that are on the portal. And when I signed up for the banking client, guys, I went through the process of getting everything set up. I went through my background check, went and did my drug test, everything. And do you guys know, I got booted from the class because they said that the class was full. So on top of having to wait for my computer for at least 2 weeks, then I had to turn around and get booted from the class. And then after that, I signed up for another class, which won't start until October. And when I went, well, the last 2 days, I've been fighting back and forth with chat because they were saying that, well, I finally found out, they were saying that my background check wasn't received. Well, my background check should have been received maybe like 6 to 8 days ago. And so I went in with the exact request number, the request ID. And so the guy was like, well, let me check it. And he checked it. He was like, your background check has not been received yet. And I was like, that's kind of odd because I submitted this background check. Well, they submitted the background check to you, should have been at least 8 days ago. And I think it was 8 days. And so he went back in and he was like, oh yeah, it has been received. So I don't know if they didn't review my background check when it came through or exactly what happened, but also with my drug test, it said I had up until 9/8 of 11/59 to complete the drug test. So it used to be where you would go in, you would do your background check, you would complete your drug test. Well, 7 days prior to the class, you would have to pay your money. Well, the process is a little bit different. Now you have to pay for the class, which you're paying the money that will be refunded to you, the $50, which is how much it costs for me to sign up or whatever. They get the $50 deposit, and then once you attend the first day of class, then they return that money to you. So I paid the $50 for the very first class. They're telling me that I can't get my money back, my $50, which again is minimal, but the point is the principle. It seems kind of sketchy. And so they took the $50 and they were like, well, you won't get the $50 back until, they say you won't get the $50 back until after the class. Until after the class starts, which that class doesn't start until 9/29. Now, let's just say $50 isn't a lot of money, but in this economy, I need my $50 to pay a bill or just sit in my account. I don't care, but it's my money. That's the point. Okay, so then when I signed up for the next class, they were like, well, you have to pay the $50 again. So basically, they have basically $100 of my money tied up in trying to get enrolled in a class. And they finally, after I had to go back and fight with them, because the first guy was like, well, let me put a ticket in. And I'm like, there should not be, you shouldn't have to put a ticket in. You should be able to see my information. And so after I got off the chat with him, I hung up and I was like, okay, let me go back and let me just try this from a different angle. And so when I started pulling out dates, when I started pulling out ID numbers, when I started pulling out information about me being signed up on the exchange and all of this, the guy was like, okay, I do see the information. Yes, you are fully enrolled in the class. And then after that, they sent me an email saying congratulations, probably after like 30 minutes after we got off the chat. But it took me about 2 days to fight with them in order for me to actually get my information pushed through. And this has never happened in my entire time of being on the platform. So I don't know exactly what's going on. I've been trying to ask people, like, are you experiencing this? Or like, what's exactly going on? So as I was stating, guys, if you guys are having issues, just know that you're not the only one that has been having issues when it comes to like your tech checks or your background checks or anything like that. Just make sure that you have dates, make sure that you keep a paper trail of anything that you've done, so that when you go to support, that you'll be able to have that information. And if you're having issues with passing your tech check, you may want to just look for a computer. You can find them at Best Buy or you can find them at Walmart. Those were the two options that I looked at with the upgraded Windows 11. The other thing that happened to me that I wanted to mention to you guys was, even after I got my computer, I still had to upgrade the RAM. I ordered the RAM through, although I got the computer from Walmart, I ended up getting RAM through Best Buy, which was the additional RAM. So I called prior to going to Best Buy to order RAM. And that's how crazy this story is, because it's like different things happening at different times with different companies. And I just don't know if it's like the customer service or people not willing to research or exactly what's going on. But what happened was, the guy put the RAM in, put the order in that I placed, and he ordered laptop RAM. But when I got to the store, they couldn't even find the RAM, but it wasn't even, they told me, oh, this was laptop RAM that was ordered. I was like, no, that is not the order. So I actually went over to customer service instead of the guy. I went over to their Geek Squad, and instead of the guy at the customer service that was getting ready to check me out talking to me about upgrading, I had to take the initiative to go over to the Geek Squad to find the RAM, that, because I was like, I got to get out of the store because I have my kids in here and they're about to start crying. And I was like, I got to get it done. So I ended up getting the additional RAM, and I told the guy, I was like, I don't have a problem with paying the additional fee. I just need to get the exact RAM that I need. So I ended up getting the exact RAM. They did give me 20% off of the order, but that's pretty much my crazy story on how I finally got signed up for my Rise class, which starts on October the 14th. But guys, until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Again, there are more videos that are coming, but I had to take some time away. And I'll tell you guys another video why I took time away, because I told you guys I was going to start recording more videos, but I will be recording more videos soon. So until next time, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.